We've all done it. We've all made a bigger mess trying to fix a mistake than we had before we made the mistake. We're going to take a look at tinking, unknitting, increases and decreases. We're going to take out knit two together, yarn over, double central decrease, and an SSK. So the first thing you want to do is be able to read your knitting so you know what you're taking out. So here you can see there is 2 columns of stitches going into one, and it's slanting to the left. So I know that's an SSK. Now, the goal for the taking out any stitches is to leave the stitches correctly mounted. Now, I need to take my needle and put it through both stitches, and you know you've done it correctly if you take a look, and your needle is going in the same hole that the yarn is coming out. Now you notice for this I am going back to front, and you'll see why in a second, and it actually seems rather instinctual that you're going in the direction, the same direction as the yarn, as opposed to here where you're kind of fighting the yarn. And you'll also see that if you take it off this way, and I'm going to do it and show you what happens, the stitches have now switched places. They've reversed. So that's a little extra movement. So the secret to knowing how to enter the stitch is the direction the needle enters. I'm going to knit the stitch now and do this slowly. The direction the needle enters, watch the left needle, is the same direction that the needle exits. So watch me knit the stitch, and you'll see that when I pull it off, the needle exits. Ah, look at that. The same way it re-enters. So to unknit an SSK, you're going to go back to front through both stitches and pull them out. Now, the stitches have been put back on the needle in the right order, but the stitch mounts have been reversed from when we slipped them as if to knit. So the SSK still has the additional move of remounting the stitches. Now to unknit a purl stitch, you're going to have the yarn more in the front, and I'll show it to you for throwing as well. Because if you pull that yarn to the back, you can see you've closed up the space, kind of hard to see. Move the yarn to the front, insert the tip of the needle front to back into the row below. Again, notice that the needle's going in the same hole as the yarn's going out. So to tink back purl stitches, the yarn's in the front. To tink back knit stitches, the yarn's in the back. And here we come to a yarn over. So there's that yarn over. All we do is let it come off the needle. Nothing more, nothing less. Now here's a twisted knit stitch. So that was knit through the back loop on purpose to remain twisted, but you still want to insert the tip of the needle front to back into that so that you don't actually put an additional twist in it. Notice how I just let the yarn over pop on off. But next we're coming to a little tricky guy, which is the double central decrease. So as you go, always insert the tip of the needle front to back, remove the stitch, and here we're at our double central decrease. So first, reading our knitting, you can see it's 3 stitches going into one. And you'll notice that stitch number 2 is on top. That's what makes it a double central decrease. So there are 3 stitches involved in this particular increase. So one thing you can do is put the needle through all 3 stitches, and you can just take a look and see, yep, there I've got 1, 2, 3. You can also see, again, the needle is going in, same space that the yarn is coming out. But there's a little additional move you have to do. So pull out the yarn. Now, with a double central decrease, stitch number 1 and stitch number 2 have reversed places. So you can pinch right there at the base, pull them off, and pop the needle right back through them, and you're good to go. By holding at the base, you don't have to worry about them unraveling. You know, yarn wants to be where yarn wants to be. it doesn't actually unravel as much or as quickly as you think. Yarn wants to stay with its little friends. So there's that yarn over, just let it pop off. There's the twisted knit stitch. Insert the needle front to back. Let that yarn over pop off. So we just have one last decrease we have to get to, and that is our knit two together. So in reading our knitting, we have a decrease that slants to, let's get that down, decrease that slants to the right. You can see that's 2 stitches going into one, and the slant is going off to the right. Now a knit two together, we know, is just 2 stitches knit together without any manipulation of the stitch mount. So that means we're going to unknit it the same way we unknit a regular knit stitch, front to back, but this time not through one, but through both of them, and pull out. And voila, we have unknit an entire row of lace without any fuss or muss or tragedy.